Hi, and welcome back to the Arsenal podcast. Back at it again. A couple of news stories are running around, but what is surprising is I have three news stories running around Arsene Wenger. Now, of course, he's a legend at Arsenal. We know that 22 years in management at the Emirates Stadium, at the Highbury, 7 FA Cups, 3 Premier Leagues. He's a legend, right? He's a legend. So there's a couple of news writing around, written around Arsene Wenger, and we're going to be discussing those 3 pieces right now. So make sure you have smashed the like button already. Put a like on the video. Let's make them to smash them to 200 likes, and let's make sure the comments are also coming in. Now, I'll start with this one because it is it has been looming so much, in the corridors of Arsenal fans that Cristiano Ronaldo was set to join Arsenal. However, there was no official confirmation. There was no confirmation that the player was about to join Arsenal. Arsene Wenger, in today's first story, he has confirmed that yes, he had lunch with Cristiano Ronaldo's mother and him as well before he moved out of Sporting Lisbon to join Manchester United. He says the deal was so close, like everything had been agreed. Cristiano Ronaldo, was set to join Arsenal. However, Manchester United hijacked the deal. Now, you remember, those in those times, there are so many Arsenal deals that got hijacked by Manchester United. Because United were the big spenders, and Chelsea, I think, they were the big spenders before. I still remember Juan Manuel Mata was another player who was about to join Arsenal. Almost 80% was agreed, but still Chelsea hijacked that deal. So the same thing that happened with Cristiano Ronaldo, a world-class player, a young kid who eventually became a star. The deal was hijacked by Manchester United, as Arsene Wenger has confirmed. Tell me what you think about it. Do you think if he had joined Arsenal, he would become the player he is today? What do you think? Do you think if Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro had joined Arsenal way back from Sporting Lisbon, do you think he would have been the player he is today? Because most of the signings that we have made and we wanted to sell outside outside England, especially in Spain, we have been selling to Barcelona. So probably he would have gone to Barcelona, because if I look at Fabregas, if I look at Song, if I look at Vermaelen, if I look at Thierry Henry, all those players joined Barcelona. So it seems we are more comfortable dealing with Barcelona rather than dealing with Real Madrid, especially in selling players. So probably he would be a Barcelona star. There are so many things around that, but it's a pity. It's really a pity, and this shows that our transfer laziness has not started today. We have been asking so many questions, Kosi, why are we very slow in signing players? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? But still, it shows you that this transfer laziness started way too, back. When we couldn't sign Cristiano Ronaldo, he wasn't expensive, but we were slow. We didn't use that, opportunity. We had to sign the man. And the same thing that today says the player, had to be an Arsenal player. Almost so many things were agreed. So many things were, had been agreed upon, but eventually Manchester United hijacked the deal. I think if he had joined Arsenal, I don't know, I'm not really sure, but I think under Arsene Wenger, he would have been a successful player, but I still think he would have been more successful like he is now under Sir Alexander Chapman Ferguson, because Ferguson's team, it was world class, it was attractive. United was attractive, you got to believe that. They were attractive, and at that time in Europe, if there was a club you wanted to join, it was either United, Barcelona, or Real Madrid. Those were the 3 teams that were recognized in Europe by that time. And Cristiano, choosing Manchester United over Arsenal by that time, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. I know how attractive they were. I know the kind of manager they had. You would rate him at the same, at the same level as Arsene Wenger. But when it comes to silverware, when it comes to, being ambitious, Sir Alexander Chapman was in his own league. Was very different. I'm not really saying that we didn't sign Cristiano Ronaldo because he undermined Wenger and so on. But when you have in most cases when you had to choose between Ferguson and Arsene Wenger, you are going to choose Ferguson. Then they had a nice squad. They had a strong squad. They had they were winners. They were dominating the league. So it was no surprise. It is no surprise that they eventually signed Cristiano Ronaldo and made him one of the best players, if not the best player, in the past 20 years. Sorry for us, but still we also wanted to sign Zlatan. We had him come around for tests, and then we let him go. So there are so many players that have gone through our, that have slipped our hands, and then they have become successful, and then we started the wishing games. We wish we could have those players. So Arsene Wenger says he was about to sign Cristiano Ronaldo, but finally the deal didn't go through. Again, Arsene Wenger has confirmed that he would want to come back at Arsenal. He would want to have an advisory role on the board. He would want to be part of the board. Now, there was a rumor that was going around that Arsene Wenger said he would never leave, he would never come back to Arsenal unless if one person leaves. And that rumor was very, very strong when Raul Sanelli left the club. So probably the person he was talking about, that he doesn't want to come back to Arsenal before that person leaves, maybe that person could be Raul Sanelli. So he was asked by Jose Mourinho, would you want to come back to Arsenal? If you were given a chance at Arsenal, would you come back? And then he said, yeah, I will come back. I'll come back at home. And of course, he's very welcome. Very welcome. After spending 22 years with us, there is so much he can add to that board. There is so much of advice he can add to that Arsenal board. You see, he's already working with the FIFA development team. So that means, he's a man who has been in football for almost all his life. There is no way you can tell me that he doesn't have anything to add to a club where he has been 22 years. So I'll be glad to see a person like Arsene Wenger come to the board, be part of us, because there are things such men see and we don't see as fans. We don't see, maybe Mikel Arteta wouldn't see because of the age and so on and experience. Actually, that takes me to the third piece of news, where he tells Mikel Arteta that Mesut Ozil is not the best player without the ball. And he says his discipline, again, is not okay on the pitch. But then he tells him, you need to get a balance between defensive and the striking. You need to get a balance between defensive and attack. And he says that is why you need Mesut Ozil. So Arsene Wenger, I totally agree with Arsene this time. There are so many times I didn't agree with him, right? I remember there was a Manchester United game we were playing, and it was 2-1, United was leading 2-1, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain was the best player on the pitch. He pulled him off, and then I was like, really, Arsene Wenger, what are you doing? So there are so many times I never agree with Arsene Wenger, but on this one, I'll agree. Right now, our problem is we have an imbalanced squad, our squad is not balanced very well, right? However, we have the tools. We have the tools to make it balanced. If we just introduce a player like Mesut Ozil in that squad, in that lineup, we are gonna be very, very different. It's gonna be a very different kind of Arsenal from what we were last season. And this is what I say, that if you have Arsene Wenger come back, to oversee how things are are running at the club, maybe you can it's a big opportunity, because he has told Mikel Arteta that if you want to the balance that is lacking in that team, you gotta bring back Mesut Ozil into that team. And he acknowledges the fact that he's not the best player without the ball. His discipline also is not awesome, but you need to use him because you can do with that. And actually he says just put strong defensive lines behind him. And I think this is what it takes. If you have a structure like Xhaka and Partey behind Mesut Ozil, there's no need for you to fight with Danny Ceballos, force him to do something he's not going to do. You have a player who earns 350k a week and is very good at that. That is what he's paid to do. Why don't you let him do it? So maybe Arsenal fans this time would be happy with Arsene Wenger. He says he would want to come back, but he also says before he comes back, he would want to see Mesut Ozil come back on the pitch. Of course, he signed him 7 years ago, and I was really surprised with Mesut Ozil. He has 184 appearances in the Premier League. He has scored 55 goals, and he has had 43 assists. That means in 184 performances, he has engaged in 98 goals scored for Arsenal. I think that is decent. That is decent. Because we are not going to spend right now. You see how the Samoa deal fell through, and then now we are waiting for January and all those things. Probably he's gonna come, probably he's not going to come. But right now we can use Mesut Ozil. So Arsene Wenger says the better thing to do, Mikel Arteta, balance the squad, balance your squad, get in Mesut Ozil, put defensive lines behind him, Partey and Xhaka. Let him do his thing, because he can do it. He can do it. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys, for watching the show. That is what Arsene Wenger had for us today. He was trending in our news feed, so I had to talk about him because he's a legend. Like I said, I'll be coming with the Arsenal transfer news show shortly after this. So make sure you are tuned in as well. Give me a subscription on the channel. Give me a like on the video. Give me a comment on the video, and don't forget to check the channel. Every after 5 hours, I upload for you a new piece of story.